Welcome to His Chronoglobe, where we explore the past to understand the present. Ever wondered why some ancient civilizations thrived while others disappeared into history? It wasn't just luck or leadership, it was geography. Imagine a cosmic architect shaping mountains and rivers, influencing the fate of empires. From the mighty Nile River that gave birth to Egyptian greatness to the towering Himalayas that shielded India from invasions, geography was the invisible hand guiding history. But before we begin, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment on which ancient civilization fascinates you the most. Ready? Let's go. Let's travel back in time to ancient Egypt, a civilization that flourished for over 3,000 years. Now, picture a vast desert, scorching under the relentless sun. It seems impossible that a civilization could not just survive but thrive in such a harsh environment. But there, cutting through the desert like a lifeline, flows the Nile River. The Nile wasn't just water, it was life. Unlike the unpredictable floods of other rivers, the Nile had a rhythm, a heartbeat. Every year, like clockwork, it would flood, depositing fertile silt across its banks. This predictable flood cycle was the lifeblood of ancient Egypt. Imagine, Egyptian farmers didn't have to fear unpredictable weather patterns like other civilizations. They knew exactly when the Nile would flood, allowing them to plan their crops with remarkable accuracy. This predictability led to bountiful harvests, year after year. And with surplus food, Egyptian society could support larger populations, develop specialized skills, and even establish powerful armies. The Nile was more than a source of life. It was a highway, connecting the entire kingdom. Imagine sleek boats, laden with grain, gold, and building materials, gliding effortlessly up and down the Nile. This efficient transportation system facilitated trade, communication, and cultural exchange, further unifying the Egyptian empire. The Nile, with its life-giving waters and predictable floods, was the foundation upon which Egyptian civilization rose to become a beacon of power and innovation in the ancient world. Next, we journey to the roof of the world, the Himalayas. These towering peaks reaching for the heavens are more than just a natural wonder. They're a fortress, a silent guardian shaping the destiny of an entire subcontinent. Now picture this, nomadic tribes attempting to invade India from the north. They're met not by armies but by an impenetrable wall of rock, ice, and snow, the Himalayas. These mountains acted as a natural barrier, protecting ancient India from invasions and allowing its civilizations to flourish in relative peace. But the Himalayas did more than just protect. They sculpted the very environment of the Indian subcontinent. The towering peaks trap monsoon winds, creating a unique climate that dictates the seasons and the flow of rivers. This in turn influenced where people settled and how they lived. And there, nestled in the fertile plains fed by the snow melt of the Himalayas, flowed the Indus River. It was along the banks of this river that one of the most sophisticated ancient civilizations, the Indus Valley Civilization, emerged. Imagine cities like Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, bustling with life over 4,000 years ago. These cities boasted advanced drainage systems, grid-like streets, and even public baths, features that wouldn't be seen in other parts of the world for centuries. But the Himalayas, while protective, also isolated ancient India. Imagine trying to trade or communicate with other civilizations when your path is blocked by the highest mountains on Earth. This isolation, while fostering a unique culture, also limited the Indus Valley Civilization's exposure to new ideas and technologies. And when the course of the Indus River shifted, likely due to seismic activity in the Himalayas, the lifeline of these once great cities was severed, leading to their eventual decline. The Himalayas, a double-edged sword, provided a cradle of civilization while simultaneously isolating it from the wider world. Chapter 3. Now let's travel to the land between two rivers, Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization. Imagine a vast plain nestled between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. Unlike the predictable Nile, these rivers were wild, untamed. They flooded unpredictably, often with devastating consequences, washing away crops and homes in an instant. You might think this unpredictable environment would hinder the growth of civilization. But you see, the Mesopotamians were nothing if not resourceful. They didn't just adapt to the challenges of their environment, they innovated their way around them. Picture this. Faced with the constant threat of floods, the Mesopotamians developed intricate irrigation systems, channeling the river's waters to irrigate their fields and control the floods. This mastery over their environment led to agricultural surpluses, allowing for population growth and the development of cities. But the challenges didn't end there. The lack of natural barriers, like the mountains that protected India or the deserts that surrounded Egypt, left Mesopotamia vulnerable to invasion. Imagine waves of conquering armies sweeping across the Mesopotamian plains, each leaving their mark on the land and its people. This constant struggle for control fostered a culture of innovation, particularly in warfare and governance. It was here that the world witnessed the rise of powerful empires like the Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians, each vying for control of the fertile lands between the rivers. This is where writing, in the form of cuneiform, was invented, not for poetry or storytelling, but for record-keeping, for managing the complex transactions of a society built on trade and agriculture. And it was here that Hammurabi, the Babylonian king, established his famous law code, one of the earliest examples of a written legal system, an attempt to bring order to a land often plagued by conflict. Mesopotamia, a land of contrasts, a land of challenges and innovations, reminds us that sometimes the harshest environments can give rise to the most remarkable civilizations. Chapter 4. Now let's set sail for the Aegean Sea, a world of sparkling blue waters dotted with countless islands and a rugged mainland. Unlike the fertile river valleys of Egypt and Mesopotamia, ancient Greece was a land of mountains and coastlines. Imagine a land where arable land is scarce, where towering mountains divide communities, and where the sea is not a barrier but a highway. This unique geography had a profound impact on the development of Greek civilization. With limited farmland, the Greeks turned to the sea, becoming master seafarers and traders. Picture sleek triremes, their sails billowing in the wind, carrying goods and ideas across the Aegean, connecting the Greek world. This maritime focus fostered a spirit of exploration, innovation, and exchange of knowledge. The fragmented geography of Greece, with its mountains and islands, also led to the rise of independent city-states like Athens, Sparta, Corinth, and Thebes. Imagine a patchwork of independent city-states, each with its own laws, government, and cultural identity. This fragmentation, while sometimes leading to conflict, fostered competition. Competition in trade, in philosophy, in art, and even in warfare. It was in this crucible of competition that democracy was born in Athens, where citizens gathered to debate and vote on matters of governance. It was here that philosophers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle challenged conventional thinking, laying the foundations of Western philosophy. And it was here that military strategists like Alexander the Great honed their skills, eventually conquering vast empires. But the Greeks' reliance on the sea, their lifeline, also made them vulnerable. Their cities, dependent on trade for vital resources, were susceptible to economic blockades during times of conflict. The Peloponnesian War, a decades-long struggle between Athens and Sparta, is a stark reminder of this vulnerability, highlighting how dependence on maritime trade could be a double-edged sword. The Aegean, with its islands and seas, fostered a civilization of seafarers, thinkers, and warriors, leaving an indelible mark on the course of Western civilization. Chapter 5. Finally, we arrive at the heart of an empire, Rome. From a small city-state in central Italy, Rome rose to dominate much of the Mediterranean world for centuries. And much of this success can be attributed to its strategic location. Imagine a city built on 7 hills, overlooking the Tiber River, a natural defense against invaders. The Tiber provided Rome with fresh water and a route to the sea, allowing for trade and expansion. But Rome's true power lay in its ability to control and exploit its surroundings. The Romans were master engineers and builders, and nowhere was this more evident than in their network of roads. Imagine legions of Roman soldiers marching across paved roads, their sandals pounding the stone, their movements swift and coordinated, reaching every corner of the empire with unmatched speed and efficiency. These roads, along with a powerful navy, allowed Rome to project its power far beyond its borders, conquering new territories and assimilating diverse cultures. The Mediterranean Sea, once a collection of independent civilizations, became a Roman lake, but even the mightiest empires can crumble. As Rome expanded, its borders grew vast, stretching from the British Isles to the Euphrates River. The very geography that had fueled its rise eventually contributed to its fall. Imagine trying to defend a frontier that stretches for thousands of miles, with enemies pressing at every turn. The Rhine and Danube rivers, once formidable barriers, proved insufficient to hold back waves of migrating tribes. The Roman Empire, overextended and weakened by internal strife, finally succumbed to these external pressures. In 476 AD, the last Roman emperor in the West was deposed, marking the fall of a once mighty empire. Rome's story is a cautionary tale, a reminder that even the most strategically located civilizations are not immune to the forces of history. Geography, while a powerful force, is not destiny. It shapes the playing field, but it's the choices we make, the innovations we pursue, and the way we adapt to changing circumstances that ultimately determine our fate. So, what do you think? Which civilization had the biggest advantage because of its geography? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive, smash that like button, subscribe for more history content, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. This was As Chrono Globe, and I'll see you in the next one.